So I can remember being in speech class, and the instructor said, if ever you find yourself in front of a large, raucous crowd, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then imagine the audience in their underwear. As I look over the audience, that is so not going to happen tonight, especially in as much as my mother's in the front row. But we do have Les McCurdy here, and he's a fabulous entertainer. How many of you have been to McCurdy? McCurdy's has been in Sarasota County for more than 30 years, and I think in more than 30 locations. I don't know what you know about Les McCurdy, but he's actually an institution in Sarasota. Wait, no, I got that wrong. Les McCurdy should be in an institution in Sarasota. I was wondering if I could get away with that, but then I thought he's a comedian. He could take a joke. But he and Ken Sons are going to put on a great show tonight. In the meantime, I'd like you to know a little bit about me. I have also been in Sarasota, Venice, for more than 30 years. In fact, thank you very much. This is the 30th year of my license as a psychologist. Of course, I was 7 at the time, and one of the very few second graders that year who were eligible for a license. A lot of you know me as Dr. Cortman, and I know you as Monday at 9, Thursday at 4, and yes, Friday at 3. And a special shout out to the men in the support group, Cross-Dressers and Proud. Are you here tonight? Mayor John, Mr. Wozniak, Archbishop, Congressman, so proud of you guys, and you all look divine in drag. While I'm self-promoting, my mom doesn't know this yet, but I was voted by the Readers of Venice as the best psychologist last month, and so I wanted everybody to know that because I was proud, and then I found out that in actuality only one person voted for me, but gratefully it was my OCD patient, and he voted 571 times. That really worked out. So, if you all don't mind, I'd like to talk a little bit about my life. Now that I think about it, why am I asking you? I've been listening to all of your shenanigans for years. It's my turn to talk. And I'd like to entitle my talk, Now That I'm a Dad. I was a late bloomer. I did not get married till I was in my late 30s. And it took me all that time to find the wrong woman. And so, after 10 years of marriage, over. And, you know, it was okay. It really was kind of fair. You know, she got all the money, and I got all the debt, and I got to keep the house that I already had, and she got to keep the boyfriend she already had. I have no complaints. It was all fair. But then, I was in my 40s, and I don't know how well you know Florida law, but when you're in your 40s and you're divorced, they automatically put you on Match.com. I didn't know if I was as special to her, so I told her how the thing works in Match is that when your subscription runs out, whoever you're with, that's it. I told her, it's kind of like musical chairs. When the music stops, that's it. So, I gotta tell you, Steph, I made that up. So, you know, we were together for a while, and then one day she says to me, you know, I missed my period. And I thought, you don't have periods. You have exclamation marks. But what are you saying? And she said, I'm pregnant. And I said, no, that's not going to work. Put it back. and she said, what are you talking about? I said, I'm too old for this, So by the time the baby's out of diapers, I'll be in them. She said, come on, really? You think in a few years you're going to be in diapers? And I said, I don't know, depends. And I said, besides, think about our mailbox. So what are you talking about? I said, in the same small space, we're going to have Parenting Magazine sharing space with AARP. It doesn't work. She said, is that the best you have? I said, no. When I get old, I would want my kids to take care of me. But they're going to be in middle school. What are they going to do, get a paper out? But 8 months later, I was invited to my first C-section. And it was at Memorial Hospital in Sarasota. And I'd never been to a C-section before, but I knew. I've seen these hospital shows. So I had my equipment. I had, a camera and a flashlight and my catcher's mitt. I was ready to help with this baby. But, we got in there, and right away they laid Stephanie down and they gave her all these drugs. And she just went, I'm so happy. It's like, okay, that's good, lay down. And then I went and I got my stuff and I went over to the, the other side where I could help deliver the baby and take pictures. And they said, where are you going? And I said, I'm the dad. I'm the master of ceremonies. And they said, no, you go back over there and sit by your wife. And they erected this giant partition by her waist. Now, you guys know what a C-section is? What? Cesarean. Yeah, that's what I thought. No. There's a C-section and a can't C-section. They stuck me in the can't C-section with the birth of my first child. So, we had an opportunity to go to a restaurant one time, Dylan and I. And while we were there, he said he had to go potty. And so I brought him into the bathroom. I said, you want to go pee-pees on the potty? And he said, no. And so there were 2 urinals there. There was an adult size and there was a kid size urinal. And I said, all right, watch me. Because I pretended that I was tall enough to use the adult one. And I was going to let him emulate me in the other one. So, I kind of got caught up in my business for a minute, and I looked over in absolute shock, because prior to that moment, I had never seen anyone sit in a urinal. And I didn't know whether to scream or to join him in a selfie. And then, this is true, this is absolute true. 1 week later, he's got this rash around his bottom. Yeah, I felt so bad. And then he said, I swear he said this, he said, Daddy, my vagina hurts. So he's a very confused young man.